You have to bring your mic down.
Oh.
Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast today. We have some great topics that we're going to be covering. This is EBP Man and
Nilda.
for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, we cover on this podcast the latest in tech and also talk about reviews, talk about all the new technology coming out on the market. And today we have a really special podcast that we are kicking off. And in this podcast, we're going to be talking about Black Friday deals because they're around the corner. Matter of fact, you don't even have to wait for Black Friday. You can get these deals right now. And the deals that we're going to be talking about are going to help you with starting your small business. We're all about the side hustle. We're all about financial freedom. And we want to share with you how you can leverage the Black deals that are available now to get your laser engraving business started. What do you think about that topic, Nilda?
I think it's going to be a fun topic. We love laser engraver. We love our laser engraver community.
For sure, right? And just to give everybody an update, before we go into the products that we're going to be recommending, and by the way, if this is the first time that you're thinking about laser engraving and you don't know what type of laser to purchase, this is not just going to be about which laser deals are out there, but we're going to share with you various type of lasers and help you understand what laser you should be buying based on the type of business that you're trying to establish. So it is both a intro to laser engraving, and then it's also about the deals that you can get today. And we're also going to talk about something that Nilda has been doing now for several months now, supporting the laser community and a much larger community that really helps create professional, consistent, and fast, I would say, repeatable laser engraving products. Nilda, do you want to talk about, and I'm going to bring it up on screen in a second, but do you want to talk about what you've been up to? And I'll go ahead and bring this guy up.
I should change my hat to the jiggy woman.
It's the jiggy woman for sure, right?
Yes.
Bring your mic down. Just make sure.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear you.
So for the past, it's been a couple months, a little bit over a year, I think. No?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah. Oh my God, time flies. We've been providing jigs, things to make it easier for the laser engraving people to create, like you said, fast, repetitive. You're in and out. You can sell things, and the whole thing is to make money fast. And that's what we've been doing. And we've been doing a lot of custom jigs, which has really been a lot of fun, actually. So yeah.
So help everybody understand, who's your typical customer? Are these large companies? Are these professional engravers?
No. They're newbies. A lot of them are newbies to the laser engraver world.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of stay-at-home moms. You got a lot of people who do side hustles. You got a lot of retirees, a lot of veterans who are into the laser world. It's just people trying to, make their mark and just, do something on the side for fun. And it turns out a lot of people like it, and then they end up buying more and selling more and just making it. Because, I'm in real estate. I've been doing been doing a lot of laser engravings for a while. And I feel that the laser engraving world actually brings for me more profit in my end. So a lot of people are just running into that. So, yeah. It's really been a lot of fun being a part of their journey as well.
Now, in addition to your laser engraving, and we'll bring that page up again. So guys, all these links are going to be in the description area for those of you who are interested. So a couple of things just want to highlight. So this is your Etsy store. And yes. I was like perplexed when I saw the number of jigs. Yes. And actually, I think that number is even higher. I think you're like at 230 jigs. Or fixtures that allow people to engrave things faster, easier, and repeatable. And this is just touching the surface of what you do. In addition to having the Etsy store that makes laser engraving easier for everyone and accessible, you also have a Facebook group that you started, right? Talk about that.
I do. We created this group on Facebook, and it's more. Part of the reason why we did it is to get people to talk about their projects, talk about their settings, talk about what works for them, what's not working for them, to share ideas. And then if anybody has any questions, there's somebody on the group that'll be able to answer the questions, because, it's a little scary to get into laser where you got to know settings, you got to know alignments, you got to know all of that stuff. So that's what the group is for. And then just to help each other out. That's what.
Yeah.
And we have a lot
this
of
is
people
your
that
private community. You have how many thousand people?
Oh my God, over 6,000,
Over
6,500, I think it is.
6,500. And also when you think about your Etsy store, how many you've had it, I think it's in the thousands too. It's probably almost 6,000 people that you have provided jigs to.
I've had over close to 5,600 almost.
Almost 5,600. So
And that's those are just orders. Those are not the jigs itself. I mean, because some of the majority of the people, they don't just buy one product. They buy, 3 to 15.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's a huge opportunity. So we're talking about laser engraving. We're talking about starting a side hustle, laser engraving, and to get you into kind of like the groove. And I want to give you some appetizers that are going to get you into starting to think about what is something that you can laser engrave. And there's a couple of things. We're going to have some tutorials coming up because this is the season. And I just want to show you this. When you look at this piece of plastic, right? We have a tutorial that's going to be coming up, and we're going to actually do another live that's going to show you how you can cut an ornament like this. This is actually an ornament. When you look at it, you're like, is that an ornament? That looks just like a circle piece of plastic. Well, this is actually an ornament. And Nilda, can you bring up one of the finished ornaments? Yes. So talk before you show this, tell us a little bit about what were you going to show us? What is that you were about to see?
Well, this is, you want to talk about the picture?
Yeah, the picture first. There's sentimental value there.
Our son, our oldest, got married back in September, and we're still getting the pictures little by little. We're getting them, but this is my favorite photo of my son. I don't know if you guys can see that, of my 2 boys and my husband and I at the day of the wedding. So I loved the picture so much that I asked if we can turn it into an ornament. So that's where this idea came from. So we also engraved on the back too.
Yeah, check that out. That's beautiful. So no joke, guys. This piece of plastic, which is actually acrylic, right, can be turned into a keepsake that looks like this. Look at that. That is so. It looks like a picture. Some folks have even asked me, is this like a print? Like someone actually took a print to this? Is this dye sublimation, which is another technology that's out there? No, this is actually something that was done with the laser, and you got this type of picture. And then in the back, when you look at this is the back of the ornament. Now, obviously, what you do is you hang this ornament up. You have the tassels, the strings, everything, and you have the finishes to it. But what we're going to be doing is, in the subsequent video, showing you how can you make something like this. But then also, how can you start from a piece of plastic, a long sheet of plastic, a long sheet of acrylic, and then how can you actually cut them to size so that you can actually create a product like this. Now, Nola, you've been looking at how much do these sell on Etsy. What's the average price of a photo engraved ornament?
From $15 to $25.
So for $15 to $25, something that you'd be able to make in your home, one-sided, and then if you go with the second side, it's even the cost goes up. These are going to be hot, guys, for now the holidays. And I'll show you another one. You want to grab that one? So this has even more sentimental value, and this is the whole point of having personalized ornaments, because think about it for a second. Christmas is around the corner. Ornaments are beautiful. They're on the trees. But how many of you have ornaments that have sentimental value? Now, there are some that do. Like you may have an ornament that was handed down from a family member, but having an ornament that has more than just Merry Christmas or, some type of saying in there really is important and is very close to many people.
I have an ornament that is tacos because I like tacos.
I feel like it has a taco. Well, this was even closer. So you want to talk about this ornament that we made?
My lovely father-in-law, he rest in peace. We made one for him.
Right. So this is my dad. And then on the other side is, again, a nice little message, when he passed away. And then also, again, the date. Right. So think about this. This is going to be on our tree. And, let me know in the comment area. Is there anyone else out there that is...
This is so cool.
Look at this. And you want to share that one? Let's go ahead and put that one up.
There we go. I just started doing jigs. My current one is the 2.5 Christmas ornament jig. People love it. I love my xTool F1 Ultra. Hope to get a P2
Yeah.
soon.
And actually, those are the two of the lasers that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about several laser types. One of them is the xTool line. And the ornaments, guys, are really huge right now because especially of the holidays that are going on. And again, we're going to show you more about this and having something that has an emotional attachment to it. Do you want to show the other ornament type that is also something?
This is the one she was just talking about.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I would have never thought before we started doing these kind of things, I would have never thought that a laser would do this. Take a look at this ornament. You see that? So this is a laser engraved ornament. And this is actually a tree that we provide as part of, our package, right? So we have clients that will purchase an engraved ornament. This is glass. And then they basically also get a free tree so that they can put this either on their office desk, in their home, wherever they'd like it. So this is also, again, something that is part of this business model that hopefully I've piqued a lot of your interest right now. And this is just the surface. There's so many other things. I'm trying to look around at what I have in my office because I have a lot of, well, here's the thing is, we have to do an extreme close-up forehead of Nilda really quick. So I'm not going to be able to move the camera, but can you get closer there? Okay, can you see this? So this hat, guys, was laser engraved. The hat that you see there, this, and I'm going to read off what it says. It says, act like a lady, think like a boss.
That's me.
Because that's Nilda, right? This hat was laser engraved, personalized.
Yes.
Think about the opportunity. Think about what you would be able to do. And all this was done in a home. So you don't need to have a physical building. You can do online stores. Or you could do through Facebook. There's a lot of different ways.
I actually met somebody today.
You did meet?
And she does work, but she does pop-ups stores.
Mm-hmm.
And she does kind of laser engraving, but not laser engraving. And she was telling me about that I should get into that. She says, what I do, there's a lot of people interested in that. So that's another thing for people if they want to get into the business and they don't know how to get into it because, family and friends don't always help. So this is a pop-up areas that you can participate in.
All right, we're going to have to look into that. And and whatever we learn, our goal is to share. So once again, we'll talk about lasers. We'll include more links, actually the links to Nilda's store where she has, hundreds of jigs for people from doing, as you can see there, from doing the actual flasks that are great for weddings to doing koozies, to doing bottle openers, keychains. I'm trying to look slates, pencils, pens, you name it. It's like, oh my, shot glasses.
We also supply XCS files and SVGs.
Yeah, and we're going to go into all those things in a second. So let's go ahead and let's talk about lasers. Now, there are several types of lasers, and we're going to keep things really simple. We're going to first talk about the easiest way to start laser engraving. And in our opinion, what is the easiest laser? And I'm going to give you guys kind of an example. How many of you guys, think about this, how many of you guys love coffee? Or are there any coffee lovers out there? I'm going to go ahead and put this also on the chat. Coffee lovers, any coffee lovers? So I'm going to put that out there. Ping me back. Tell me if you're a coffee lover. Just looking to see if there's anyone who loves coffee. Now, are you a coffee lover?
I am a coffee lover, huge coffee lover.
All right. We're coffee lovers. How many of you actually want to be baristas? And think about it. The people, the baristas, these people have great memory because I've been in the local Starbucks or any other type store that sells coffee, and 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pumps. People, I'm the easy guy. I just want a black coffee. No milk, no sugar, easiest order. But you hear all these complex orders, and these people are going to the machines. They're doing all this stuff, pumping and doing things. Guess what? I don't want to be a barista. I want a great cup of coffee. When it comes down to laser engraving, many just want to be able to push a button and engrave. Yeah. Would you be the type of person that you just want to push a button and engrave?
I am that person.
You're that person.
I am that person.
There's a lot of people like you and like me that just want to push a button and engrave. Matter of fact, how many times do you get on your Etsy store someone who says, I am new, I'm not technical, and I'm just starting? And
I got one yesterday.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yes. This is really common.
All the time.
And I'm telling you, if I'm speaking to you right now and you're that person that says, I'd love to do this, but I'm afraid about the technology, I'm concerned about how hard it is in the learning curve, this is the first video of many videos in our group, would be the group for you, because here's what I'm going to tell you. You're not alone. And there are several laser types out there. I'm going to go through some of the laser types. So let's talk about the first one, and then we're going to go into one of the specific companies that we work with. And I'm going to be sharing with you the companies today that we work with that that we also test. So many cases we get, before anyone gets it, we get the lasers and we test them out to see how they work. And then not just how they work, but we give feedback. We give, and I'll tell you, there is feedback. For example, we already know that someone out there is, Justin is an xTool user. In the xTool community, in the xTool software, there's something called the material test. Guess who suggested the material test? Yeah. So that was something when they were first starting out with the software, was a piece of feedback that we gave them about material tests and making sure that it was included. Not only can you do material tests, but now the product has expanded so much, right? There's just a lot of things that you can do. So let's talk about the laser types. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up xTool's site just for a second to kind of show you some of the lasers that are there. Now, we're going to go into several brands, and we're going to start with xTool because I'll ask Nilda. Nilda gets exposed to all these lasers as well. Nilda, in your opinion, in all the brands that we work with, which is the easiest for a new person who's the first time laser engraving?
I won't get in trouble.
No, go ahead.
xTool.
And why is that? You tell me. Why do you think that xTool is the easiest of all the laser brands out there?
Oh, I love how they have all this different materials, and they already have the settings for it. It's just easier. Oh, just the screen is so much easier. Their creative spaces. It was for people like me, that are afraid, because you get, a lot of people are into the fiber lasers, and that's, to me, it's a little bit more complicated. But with the xTool, they make it so easy for people like me and other people who are new to the laser engraving world to be able to, learn and do stuff.
Now, I agree. I think xTool is one of the most easiest. They are, going back to my example of who wants to be a barista, or do you just want to press a button and then have a great cup of coffee? For me, xTool is that. xTool has turned laser engraving into an appliance where it's easy. It's like, if you think about, if you like an air fryer and you want to be able to find the setting to make chicken and to make it where it doesn't come out too dry, you just want to push the button. Mm-hmm. Guess what? A lot of us are like that. That's, in my opinion, and from what Nilda's saying as well, what we find with the xTool brand. And what I'm showing you right here is one of the laser types. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to recommend this type of laser because for certain reasons. But this is what you see here is what traditionally people think about lasers. And this is why it could be intimidating to most, because it's open. There's actually lasers, like real lasers, just, being shot. And there's smoke. There's all this stuff that would concern you. But what if I told you that laser that you see there, the xTool D1 Pro, is the same or has similar technology as what you see here with the xTool M1 Pro? Now, all of a sudden, you see it enclosed. You see it secure. You see it shielded. This really changes the way you think about the laser. Right now, it's become, this looks like if it was more of an appliance, right? Think about open flame versus an oven. So here you see a very different, and we're going to talk about, different laser types. And then what you see right here is another laser type, and this is now a more compact laser. Nilda spoke about pop-ups. Nilda, if you were going to do a pop-up, would you go for this laser, or this laser?
That one.
Right? So the F1. Now, the F1 uses similar technology as these two right here, but you notice that the form factor is a little bit different. So you basically have this one right here, and you'll notice that there's a word here called a diode laser. Now, diode laser is the first laser type that we're going to talk about. And the diode laser is going to give you the ability to engrave a variety of materials. So if you want to do slate, if you want to do, let's say, the actual acrylic that we just showed you, like this, it can be done with a diode. If you want to be able to do the ornaments, if you want to be able to do wood, if you want to engrave pencils, Diodes are going to allow you to do this. Diodes, you could even use materials. You can engrave material, like the hat that Nilda has on, that was engraved with a diode. You can actually do that, right? So the diode lasers are one of the most, I would say, I don't want to say that they are the most flexible, but they are one of the most common, and they tend to be one of the most affordable lasers that you'll find on the market. And it's going to give you a wide variety of material. So instead of covering everything that diodes do well, let's talk about the things that diodes don't do well, right? Diodes on their own will not do gold, silver. Think about metals without assistance. You would have to get a spray, and then you could use the diode to it, right? And for me, I don't really care for that,
No.
right? Because it's messy, it's extra expense, and the spray sometimes is expensive. Some people are buying spray cans in other companies and just trying to mix it up. So the diodes do everything really well, with the exception of metal. Now, what has happened recently over the last couple of years is that some of the diodes now also include IR lasers. And what you'll notice here, if we look at right here where my pointer is, and we're going to go back to this to the screen, you'll notice right here where it says IR, that is a different laser type. You have a diode laser and an IR laser, and this IR is going to allow you to mark metal. It allows you to mark metal. So if you want to do bracelets, if you want to do jewelry, if you want to be able to do, any of that kind of stuff, then the IR is going to do it. And most of these machines from xTool will either do one single laser or will have dual lasers, or they'll give you interchangeable lasers where you can just take them in, just switch them.
Yeah.
And it's what do you think? It's not hard, right? When you have to switch them?
No, it's not hard at all. Like super fast. You're talking about the M1, right?
Like with the M1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's almost like, think about this. And this is going to sound old because it is kind of old. If you can put a cassette player, think about when we used to have cassettes or CD-ROMs, right? When we used to do CD-ROMs. If you can basically do something like that, that's how easy it is to switch things. So these lasers, if they have a diode or more or less an IR laser, then what you're talking about something that can actually mark metal. So you can get dog tags, bracelets. If you think about little charms, you can do all that kind of stuff with an IR. So going back to this laser, when you look at the one that we're looking at right here from xTool, the M1 that you see right here is going to do a couple things. Let's talk about some of the options that you have here. So first of all, and as we go down to all the capabilities, let's go ahead and look at, let's see right here. Here we go. So you'll notice that they have all these different laser types that you can actually switch. It also talks about the material, right? Because this laser is super flexible because of the capabilities. So you can actually laser cut. You can actually not only use a laser, but you can also use a knife. So this is basically a combination of both a Cricut machine and a laser all in one. And it gives you enormous flexibility when it comes to the different materials that you can actually work with. So, and it's also really user-friendly. So here you see a great picture showing you somebody doing a actual a tumbler. You can see that they've also engraved a baseball. You can see that they have engraved and colored a wooden box, and you can see the other area that they've done here. Now, this is one of the laser types that I would say that is really popular from xTool. But then there's another one, and I would say probably our favorite is going to be the F series, right? And the F series, and we're going to go into the F1 so you can look at this one. So this is still a diode laser, right? And basically it's going to be able to do, it has two different type of laser types. It's small. It's probably the size, what would you say about like a 2-liter soda?
Yeah.
What else would you think would be comparable for size for people to understand the size? Because it's relatively small.
A boot shoebox.
It's a shoe. I like that. It's a shoebox.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really close to shoebox. And the cool thing about this one is notice what they have here. It's going to give you the ability to engrave a lot of things. And it comes with two lasers. One laser that's going to work for wood, right? That's going to be that diode. And then it has a infrared, some people will refer to it as a fiber laser, that's going to be able to do metals, right? The other thing that we have, and I think we have one here on the side. I don't know if we can reach it. I'm trying to think about, okay, right here. Let's grab this for a second. Is you can do these things, memorial stones. Let me show you. Let me go back to our primary camera, and then you can see this memorial stone. Let's see if it comes into focus. There you go. So this is a memorial stone for one of our pets, right? that we engraved, and this was done with the F1, right? So, and these are super popular too. This is something else that you see a lot of those sold.
Somebody who bought what, like 6 of them
on Etsy, right? And Nilda, as part of Nilda, not only does she have a Etsy store as her business, but she also has a laser engraving store that she also does products for. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. So going back to this. So basically, this laser, you could do 2 types of materials, and it's very easy to use. It's really compact, and it also, right now, they have some great deals because of Black Friday. So everything I'm showing you, the links are in the description, and they're going to point you to the deals. Now, the cool thing here is that this is a really good illustration of the materials. So let's bring this up. And so as I said, when you're thinking about a blue diode, which is one of the most common laser types, you're going to do paper, you can do glass, and I'll qualify that when you say glass, it's going to be with some type of spray. You basically do cardboard, cork, food. Yes, food is a thing. I don't know why.
I see that a lot.
I don't know why. I'm not into that. You could do acrylic, which is what we just showed you. You can do leather. Leather is really popular, rubber, and rock, which I also showed you. Now, you also can do with the infrared, which is going into the fiber space. You can do now silver, platinum, aluminum, titanium, plastic, acrylic again, brass, gold, stainless steel, and you can do iron, right? So that's going to give you a wider, I would say, a wider selection of products that you can engrave. So again, really, really, I would say powerful laser when you think about all the different options and the things that you can do. So that is their F1, super compact. And then again, I really, really like the product. It's one of the go-to products, I'd say, for us when we think about what you can do with the solution. Which, and what is your opinion? You use the F1 a lot. What do you think?
I love it.
What do you think is the best part of the F1 for you?
So compact. I have it literally on the corner of my desk.
Yeah.
It doesn't take up any space. It
doesn't take up any space. No. That's one of the nicest things about it. And it's also the easiest to travel with. Like if you're going to do a pop-up show, the F1, if you want to do jewelry.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah, Stacy. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. We've have a lot of fur babies, and we've lost a lot of fur babies too. It's like, it's sad, but it's again, something that a lot of folks are really into when it comes to the memorial stones. So uber portable, take it anywhere. The other one,
a cart for it too.
And we do have a cart. Yes, we do. The other one that I'll highlight and I'll show you right here is this one here. And I want to say that we use this laser probably 90% of the time.
I use it for my big projects.
Right? You use it for your big projects. Let me show you what is the laser that we use the most. It's this guy right here. This is the xTool F1 Ultra, and this is a dual fiber laser. And remember, we talked about the fact that there was the one that was the diode, which is going to give you wood. It's going to do leather. It's going to do all those materials. Well, this one actually does metals, but it does more than the previous one. The big difference between this and the F1 that you saw is that this one, because of the laser type and the intensity of the laser, it has the ability not just to mark, right, which is just going to like darken it. It also has the ability to engrave. So it actually cuts into the metal, and it's going to give you a more permanent engrave. And talk about, Nilda, what are the projects that you run on your F1 Ultra?
Well, we just had an order we filled out for a golf event.
Talk about that. That was a good one.
That was a fun one. So they wanted those little pads to, every time you hit a hole, I don't know what they're called, but anyways, just to write down the numbers. And it's a company that was, they're sponsoring the golf. And we did those. We engraved, I forgot how many, it was like 200. And then they also ordered pens. So we engraved pens for them. And what else did we do? Oh my God.
But we did the golf tees.
Oh, the golf tees. That was just a bonus. They didn't order those. We gave them
some golf tees as a little bonus.
As a bonus.
And the other thing is we do these. Let me go back to our main. Check that out.
We've been participating in doggy events.
Yeah. So we volunteer our time at foster events for dogs for adoption, and we create on site for the new parents we give them a dog tag right then and there, so that they can have, when they take their baby home, they get their own dog tag.
Yes.
So the cool thing about this laser, and we'll go back to it, and why I think it's one of the easiest lasers to work with, is because it also has an onboard camera. And for this laser type, a laser that has a fiber laser and a diode laser, having a camera makes it really easy to position things. So like, Nila, describe what we do. Like if we're going to create like this ornament, when we're creating this ornament, how did we use the camera, and then also, that specific laser? Because one of these was done, well, actually, I think this one was done on the F1 Ultra, and then this one was done on the F1. Right, so we did one on each. So go ahead. So describe your process of doing it with the machines and the technology that we use, the features that we use.
Wait, which?
On the F1 Ultra.
Oh, well, on this one, when we were doing this one, the family one, that's the part when you get the picture, you have to transfer, you got to invert it to the settings, and then when you're on the camera, you can see where the picture is at on the ornament. Yep. And then you just move it to where you need to move it, left, right, up, make it a little bigger, and then that's it. So
the best example I can give you guys, if you can do PowerPoint, think about this.
That is like a PowerPoint. You're right.
If you could do PowerPoint, you can do lasers. That's simple. It can't get easier than that. So I want you to think, if in your work you do PowerPoint, you can do PowerPoint, you can do lasers, hands down. Because all you're doing is you have a circle. You're taking the picture, you're putting it on top of the circle. And if you could do that and you can hit a button, you can laser.
It's making sure you get the first. Once you get the first alignment, all the other ones are super easy.
Yeah. So that's where the jigs come in, because the jigs help that, so that if you're going to do, so like right here, imagine if you are doing all these ornaments and you want all the ornaments to be placed exactly the same. So when you look at the back of this ornament where you see our family name, and let's say you're doing this for a family and you're giving 12, right? You want all of them to have the family name in the exact same position. That's where the jigs come in. Yep, it just makes it easier. You don't need a jig, but I'm telling you, if you want to do a business and you want to make things look repeatable, then that's how you go about it.
You want repeat business too. So when you do something that makes the company look good, they're going to want to use you again.
Right.
Or refer you.
So here's the materials again. Fiber laser, diode laser, and you can see that the materials, we're not going to go over them. They are pretty much the same, except that the fiber laser is more powerful, which means that you're going to get a deeper engrave. And this laser has the ability to cut things. So you can actually cut metals, create metal earrings, create metal things. There's a lot of different metals that you can cut. And we really like the F1 Ultra because of its ease of use. And the fact is that this laser also is just very portable, right? It's one of those other portable lasers. That's
another, this is portable too.
Now, the other one that I would talk about, and there's two more, and then we'll switch to another laser type, because we're covering diodes, and we're talking about, again, we're going to go into fibers. You have S1, and this is a different laser. It basically, it's a diode, and it's kind of like an upgrade from the M1. It doesn't have the cutter capabilities that you have like Cricut, but we actually use this one as well. And we use it for a specific purpose. You want to talk about the stuff that you do for realtors and how we use the S1 for that.
Well, because of the size of that, I'm able to create, the keys that people take when they have their closing for agents, so their clients can take a picture with a big old key. And that's, that allows it. That in the P2, but we like the S1.
Yeah, so you have a large area where you can put cutting boards, where you can put
charcuterie boards.
Charcuterie boards. We use this one as well. We also then are able to cut material for the actual realtor keys that we make. All that stuff is happening on the actual S1. And there's one other one, because you did mention it, that we're going to talk about. No, that's good, because we're going to cover that. And it's the P series. Now, I love the Ps, the P2. And then also the P2S, which is one of their newer ones, which is even faster. This one, talk about the gift set that you did for your cousin. What did we do for your cousin?
We did acrylic stirs for their drinks. And I forgot how many we made, 300. We just put the sheet up there and it cut it. I lost track of how long it took. It didn't take too long. Was it less than 30 minutes for a whole sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
That was funny because at the wedding you saw people looking at it because it had that mirror kind of look,
mhm,
and they were stealing it from other people.
that was the cool things. So I thought we were, I don't know, maybe we're kind of weird because we were watching this. So we were watching how people reacted to it. So when they did the toast, they basically brought out all the champagne, and in the champagne flutes they had these gold
Yes,
stirs, right? It was a mirrored gold stir, and the gold stir basically had the couple's name with the wedding date.
Yeah.
And we were just observing, right? People were looking at them, and then when people drank after the toast and they put the wine or the champagne flute to the side,
Mm-hmm.
we actually saw people stealing. I put it in the stealing category because you could look at them that they were like looking, they would grab it and then they'd go away. I even pulled my earpiece out. They would just run away with them. It was like freaky to see, you know,
That's funny though.
just how people were reacting to these things. And we were just like giddy about it because we said, well, at least we see that people really value it. So they were going to be keeping them. So we did that. So the P2, the cool thing about the P2 is that it does wood, it does acrylic, it does slates. It's a CO2 laser. So this is now a different laser type. We've talked about diode, we've talked a little bit about fiber, and now we've gone into extra CO2. The power of a CO2 is that it has great cutting capabilities, clean cutting capabilities when it comes to acrylics. So if you're going to be doing acrylics, you're going to be doing signs, you're going to be doing large boards. It also has a larger engrave area. So it's going to be able to do wood. It's going to be able to do acrylic cutting. You can, yeah, you can, do stuff like what we're talking about here with it as well. It's a little bit more difficult because it's really more of a specialty machine. But as you can see here, if we go back to that picture, you're going to be able to see large area that you can work with. It does have a camera, which makes it great. And notice, cut acrylics in all colors. That's the really big thing about this one. So acrylics are fast. Acrylics are also really profitable, especially for weddings. Think about this. If you
did that for wedding, the acrylics is for wedding.
But remember this: if you've ever been to a wedding, and you see where they have a sign that says a seating chart, and you see a black sign with white letters on it, about, let's say 50% of the time, it's probably going to be an acrylic sheet that someone engraved, right? Other people are putting vinyl on top of it. Those are not too durable. Not a fan of that. But it's typically going to be something that was acrylic cut. If you see clear acrylic with it a white etching, it was done on a CO2. So the P2 is going to be great for acrylics. It will do glass. It will do tumblers. It's going to do a lot of the same things that you have with the others. But what the standout feature is acrylic. So if you're interested in acrylic, that's the way to go. Now, I do know several friends that have laser engraving businesses, and they have multiple lasers, and they have a P2, which they do for large cuts of boards and engraving. They then have an F1 or an S or an F1 Ultra, and sometimes they have both if they're going to be doing jewelry and they're going to be doing small things, they're going to be doing coasters, and they also have an S1. Now, when you think about, oh my God, that's like all this investment, there's a lot going on here. They're growing their business, right? So they're basically expanding and they're just growing the stuff that they're doing. So those are the three machines. And we wanted to share with you, there's some really great deals right now. In some cases, when all these machines launched, there was a early buyer. Oh, go ahead. What's the question?
Did you cut the acrylic with the Ultra, the shape and hole, or did you use the CO2 to get straight?
Yep.
Cuts?
So we actually, in our tutorial, we actually used to make this, I used the P2 to cut it, right, to shape with everything. Because to give you an example, and I don't know if I have one here, we actually bought acrylic.
It's downstairs.
It's probably downstairs. Yeah. So for example, this sheet of acrylic was purchased. And what I'm trying to do is find out, is it cheaper for us to cut our own acrylic or buy the acrylic pre-cut? So this is one that we purchased, right off of Amazon. And then this is one that I made, right? And it has the plastic sheet on it. I haven't removed it. So when you look at these two, it's the same, just a different size. So this is a 4-inch acrylic and this is a 3.5-inch acrylic. I did mine and it took me, I think it was around 13 seconds, right? Per ornament to cut. Very, very fast. And that's what you see a lot of makers doing. They'll use a P2 to cut the acrylic, and then they'll go to the F1 or the F1 Ultra to engrave it, right? And it's just, that's kind of like the combination. So thank you for the question. And so here we're talking about up to 60% off. Great time to buy. And so if interested into laser engraving, make sure you do.
No, I said, do you want to put up the screen?
Yeah, let's go back to the screen real quick. So you can see right now everything that's going on. And one last thing I wanted to highlight, what I really like about the xTool line, and there's another line we're going to talk about in a couple seconds, is that you have all these protective shields. So you notice protected, 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 protected. These are, you don't have to wear special glasses when you're using these lasers as long as the covers are down. And that is important to me. Also, because it's enclosed, they have extraction, which means that you're not breathing all the stuff that you cut. And then they came out with this new thing, which we have. And we don't just have one, but we actually have two of them, right? So this is, and I'm going to see if I can find it here. Here it is. This is something that they call the AP2. This is a air purification system, super cyclone. You can't see it in our studio, but our studio, we actually have where we're doing the recording here, and then we have Nilda's sitting areas there, and then on this side I have my sitting area where I do my editing and work. And then when she's working on this side on this desk, she actually has an F1 there. She has that machine, that box right there, sitting right next to the F1, and she's engraving acrylic, and we don't smell anything.
Nothing
at all. So if you are, here's another barrier. If you are in an apartment and you're saying, how can I laser engrave if I'm in an apartment? If you're like us, we're Chicagoans, you can't have your windows open. And if you're in an apartment, you can't have your windows open either. If you are in any kind of community, right, where you may have neighbors, and we're not going to name them, but there are neighbors that like smell things and call people really quick. If you have that kind of neighbor, you may not be able to have a hose, right, with smoke coming out of your house. People, you know, and also there's some ordinance, some places with their ordinances. This is the machine for you. Absolutely guarantee you that this is going to be a great experience for you. It has a crazy amount of filters. This is industrial grade kind of filtering, where it has all these filters that as you're cutting acrylic, which is one of the smelliest, one of the, you know, it's just nasty smelling. This will basically take care of it. I have one of these connected to my P2 and my S1, and then I have my second one here, and we use it on the F1 down here, and then I have my F1 Ultras in another area that we do laser engraving, and that is connected to a fan that goes outside. But this is something that I highly recommend. It's a great air protection system, right? You can see it. This is called the AP2 Pro. It's on sale. It is from $1,000, $699, and you're listening to that number. You're saying, "Oh my God, more money, more money." I will tell you, you don't want to breathe this stuff. You don't want to breathe this stuff. This is not good, and you know this has. This is definitely something that you want to protect yourself. And the cool thing about this is that because of the way the technology was created, and we've been running this thing, we've actually were part of the early tester group on this. So we've had this now for, I think it's a little bit over 2 months. And we've had some other filters from other brands, including xTool, and the filters don't last. It's just like if you're cutting wood, forget about it. If you're cutting slate, it gets clogged. There's all this stuff that goes on, and we have had such a great time with this, and we have yet to change any of the filters. So this is one that I recommend, again, because it's going to cover all these different things: laser cutting, soldering, electronics, woodworking. And by the way, you don't need to have it just for xTool brands. You can use it for any brand. All right. So enough with xTool. Great company. We like them. And obviously, and we're going to talk about another company really quick. And this is a company called Pecker. And we've reviewed their products as well on our channel. There's also links to them as well. And the Pecker, they just came out with a great laser that we've also tested, and we recommend this one.
That's really good.
It does, right?
That's really good.
And it's fast. This is going to be also good for if you're going to be on the go. And this is the Pecker 5. And it's also a combination. Remember, we saw this earlier. You have a fiber and a diode, right? It does both. It comes with glasses. It does same type of materials that we saw with the F1. This is more, I would compare this to the F1 Ultra, and kind of like it's in between. It's between the F1 Ultra and the F1. The reason why I say it's in between as opposed to being a direct alignment with the F1 Ultra is because it doesn't have a camera. They don't have an onboard camera in the solution, and then the cutting area is small. It's not as big as the F1 Ultra. But this, if you're going to be doing jewelry, if you're going to be doing, slates, keychains, key fobs, this is going to be a great laser for it. It has the same tech that we talked about earlier, right? where you're going to be able to cut all those materials. You'll notice here deep engraving, embossing. It does metal cutting as well because of the power. It's also very portable. It comes apart. We're supposed to get this this enclosure, which has a camera. They haven't released it yet, but when we get it, we'll share with you what our experience is. But it's going to be able to work across all different type of materials. And you'll notice here again, it's a dual laser type, and it's going to give you again all the materials that we're talking about, same things. So you notice the fibers just do the same thing. And then you see the diode right here, does wood, paper, rock, all that stuff, and rubber. So another company, and they are also one of the things, I put them in the easy category too, because they actually have their own software that is used, and it is more like PowerPoint. If I would look at a maturity, I think xTool from a software perspective is the most mature. If I go, then LaserPecker would be the next that I would say there that is there from a maturity perspective. But this is another great option. And then also notice over it looks like $300 off, and I'm sure they're going to have more sales coming up. I don't see their Black Friday up yet, so that is probably coming. xTool already has it up. There isn't one yet out for them, so that's something to consider. Now, the other one that I would recommend, and we've had really good experience with, is a company called comMarker. No, do you want to talk about comMarker? Do you have any opinions on that one? You've seen how that one works?
It's quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet, right? It's a quiet laser. It is one of the things that I'll highlight, and we'll go ahead and bring it up on camera here. So we've been testing.
I use it a lot, so I've seen you use it.
This is the comMarker, and we've been testing. We've been testing actually one of their newest ones, and we're going to talk about two of them that they have. We've been testing out their B6. This is the one that we've been looking at. So this falls into the category of fiber. This is a pure fiber. This isn't a dual laser like what we've been seeing from xTool. Great laser. What I like about, first of all, about comMarker is their packaging, just like xTool. comMarker is great packaging. When it comes in, it's like if you were unboxing a VCR, a Blu-ray player, an Xbox. Great packaging. Everything is separate. Instructions are easy. You put it together, it works, and it's again one of those things that's very appliance based. The only difference here is that the learning curve is a little bit higher, and that's because you're using something called Lightburn. Lightburn is a professional grade laser engraving software, right? Now, which one do you prefer to use, Lightburn or some of the other packages?
The IR.
The xTool type software or the Lightburn?
Not the Lightburn. I find it a little too difficult.
Yeah, it can be. Once you learn,
right, guys.
once you learn Lightburn is great, and Lightburn is used by really, I would say, by the pros. It is the de facto.
Like new to the engraving world, it can be a little intimidating.
Yeah, if you're brand new, but it is the most powerful package out there when it comes to laser engraving.
It's really good. Though.
So it's in. But
all right, is that the one we want to use for the bowling ball?
Yeah, so we have a project where we're looking to engrave bowling balls, and we're going to be using a comMarker for that. But we're going to be using this one. So this is a great laser. It's fiber. It is autofocus, right? Most times, anytime we hear someone say, we are trying to engrave and it's not working, right? We're trying to engrave and it's not working. The reason why it doesn't work is because you're not in focus. Focus is important. So focusing is
all of them, even the F1, all of them.
You have to focus. And the cool thing about this one is you just put the part underneath, you push a button, and it goes, and it focuses automatically, and you're set to go. And like I said, this is going to do the metals. It's not going to do wood, right? This is really about metals. If you're going to do jewelry, this is going to work here. It does not have a camera because it's more of a traditional fiber. Most traditional fibers don't have cameras. They just don't. So this is a little bit different because of that. Now, there is something that's they have, and this is a product that we're going to be getting sometime next week. I'm really excited about this one, and I'm going to share with you guys this one that we're looking at here. And this is the comMarker Omni 1 laser engraver. The reason why I'm excited about this is because this is a laser that is a UV type laser. And you can see right here where it says UV laser. That's it. Exactly. Do you know what UVs, do you remember what UVs do so well? All right, I'm going to tell you.
Tell me.
So you can engrave. You can notice right here 1,500 plus materials. It is basically a laser that's specialized not just in all these other laser engraving types, but it also does glass. So what I love about this is we get a lot of requests to do glass, and glass right now, I'll tell you guys, it's kind of a pain. It is a pain because in order to do glass right now, we have to spray them, we have to coat them, and then you have to engrave.
Wipe them off.
And then you have to wipe them off. With this, you need no spray. All you do is put it in.
When are we getting it?
I'm hoping next week. So the week of the 15th is when they told me it would ship for us.
Holidays.
So I'm hoping that before the holidays we have it. We'll do a video on it. We'll share experience. The technology itself, I expect, because of the laser type, it's also something that's called a cold laser. So it's not hot. If it's engraving and you touch the metal, it's cool to the touch. But it does, without any kind of material, any kind of extra coating, it does glass really well. It will do leather. It will do wood. It will do, you could get color out of it too, because we haven't spoken about MOPAs yet, and we're going to do that when we get to the next company. It's a good option. So if you're specializing, and again, remember we talked about specialization. We talked about the CO2s. We talked about the dials. We talked about the fibers. We talked about how people have multiple lasers. This is another laser that you'll find in a laser shop. If someone's going to be doing glass awards, glass ornaments, anything that's glass,
that just opens a whole new window for business.
Yeah, tons.
Just with the portable ones, how do you find the smell or smoke? What do you do to combat it so it's not toxic?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Stacy. What we do is we use those air purifiers. So I'll go back, to the xTool one. We basically use, even with the small one, we were using their small purifier and it worked. But what we were also taking with us is we were taking an air purifier. So we had two devices. So we had their system, one of their old systems that did smoke management. But then we found that at times you could still get some type of scent. And we didn't want to get, we didn't want to get booted out of anywhere that we were at. So this is why we have two of these, right? So I'm going to go back to this guy right here. So let's go right here. This is what you want to get. This one right here, because this eliminates all smell. There is no smell whatsoever. And we have a monitor. I don't know if we can't reach it, but what we do is we keep in our studio an air quality monitor, and it's kind of up there on the side that tells us what the air quality is of our room. And what we do is when we go on shows, we also take with us a little air quality monitor, so that we can see if anything, because we want to smell it before anyone does smell it. And I will tell you, with this device that you see here, there's no smell. The monitor doesn't, it's like flatlined. It's like you don't need to see it. And basically our monitors are colored. So it's like green, and then it has a number that will basically say that's like 400. And keep in mind that air quality gets impacted by a lot of things. If someone has perfume, that impacts air quality, and the monitor will go off. If someone puts hairspray on, it goes off. If you've ever been next to somebody who has like a heavy perfume on them, where it kind of makes your eyes cry, the air quality monitor is going to notice it too, right? But to answer your question, this is the way to go.
But she's talking about taking portable.
Yeah, this is portable.
Is that the smaller one?
No, this is the AP2. This is what you want to take. So I would basically combine the AP2. This is your air purifier with either of these lasers. I would do it with the F1 Ultra or an xTool F1 or the laser Pecker. Any of those. And for that matter, if we go back to comMarker, because the actual, depending on what you're looking to engrave, let's say, for example, if you're using the actual laser, like the fiber that we were talking about right here, the B6, which is just going to be a standard for metals. Was actually, when I was testing this product out, I had the xTool AP2, the air purifier 2, next to it. And it wasn't even enclosed. It's not enclosed in a case, as you can see, it's open. I just had the hose sitting on the top of where you see, I'm going to put my hand right here in this area, just sitting right there. And as it was engraving leather, you can see the smoke, right?
Being sucked in, yeah.
Being sucked in, no smell. And I was doing this in our living room.
Dining room, while I was cooking on the other side of the room.
Okay.
And I didn't smell anything.
Okay, and I got yelled at.
I was like, what are you doing?
It's like,
but no, again, no smell.
No smell.
No smell.
All right. So hopefully that answers the question. So it's
You're still alive, obviously.
I'm still alive. I didn't get hurt. All right. So we've seen comMarker, and again, what I'm really anticipating is this is the one that I'm most excited about because it does glass, right? The Omni One. And again, when you look at this, you're probably saying, "Oh my God, another $5,000." But when you start doing laser deals, you can pay this off. We have friends we know in the community, people that with one job are able to pay off their lasers. And then I know people who have bought 3 other lasers because they have that much work. And it's not something you do full time. These are all side hustlers that are setting themselves up for retirement, setting themselves up for financial independence, whatever it is.
Or play
money, vacation money, college money. There's just like, it's a money-making machine. Literally, it is. All right, next one. Here's another company that we work with. And one of the things I just wanted to share with you is, despite the fact that we work with so many companies, and I'm going to look up this one really quick. The biggest challenge I found with any of these companies that do lasers just in general, and this is why the community is so important, finding one that has a good community, is technical support is a challenge for all of them.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Most of these companies, when you call them, when you email them, you're not going to get somebody picking up the phone, right? You're not going to, sometimes you would have to wait several hours before you get a response. So that's just the nature. That's why for me, it's so important to have something that's very appliance-like, depending on the laser that you have. But what I will tell you is that I have friends that have started out with an xTool because it's really easy. And then what they've done is they've gotten into the more professional grade machines, or the more industrial, let's put it this way. Because I think when we go into MonPort, we're going into industrial grade. When you go into comMarker, you're going into industrial grade. When you go into this space, what I find is that it's because you're expanding your business. It could be your first laser, or it could be, again, an expansion to your business. It all depends. So let me show you what we have going on here. And now we're going back into the fibers, but we're also now starting to introduce something new that's called MOPAs. And notice they do have a Black Friday. I'll do this later. So they have a great deal, up to $6,000 off, depending on the laser, right? And they have CO2s. They have a lot of different type of machines, right? So you notice they have lasers, they have desktop ones, they have big machines. Oh, let me go ahead. Yeah, I'm not sharing. You guys can't see. You guys can't see my screen. All right, so here it is. So they have machines. So they have the Onyx series, which is similar to the P2, right? They have the Reno series. They also have some really big ones that I cannot have, I've been told, because I get yelled at home.
We have no room.
Yeah, we just have no rooms for the big machines. So they have just, they have really big machines that are literally
that our Thanksgiving thing last year. Yeah, those things are big.
So they're just massive in size. So let's just talk about what we're talking about here about the MOPAs. So there's two types. We actually have one of these, which is kind of like a split. We have this one right here. It's a 30-watt MOPA, and it does metal. So these specialize in metals. Let's go into it for a second, and then we'll talk a little bit about these. So we have the 30-watt, and it looks like you have basically, I'm trying to zoom down. Basically, it looks like you have like a PC right here, because literally this box is the size of a PC. And then you have this, which is the laser. This is, again, industrial strength. This, if you go to any shop where they do huge volume, you're going to find that they'll probably have one of these there, because it is built like a tank and it will last forever. And
this is, thank you, Stacy. Yes, it's just, I hear in the room part. Yes.
Yeah, right. I get in trouble. But you know what? I'm testing. I'm certifying that it doesn't smell. She knew it was going on, Stacy. She knew because she heard the noise. She's like, "What are you doing?" I says, "I'm laser grading in the dining room."
Yes.
And I go, "Yes, I am. But I'm testing out the xTool AP2. Can you smell anything?" She goes like, "No, but I'm cooking."
No, that worked perfect.
Yeah, it did. It really worked really well. So again, this is a MOPA. The difference between a MOPA is it's still a fiber type. It will still do metals, but the big difference is this. Let's see if they have a picture of it right here, because you're going to see they do pictures right here. I'm just going to say it if I don't see an example that I can show you, because sometimes they don't have all the illustrations here. But the difference between a MOPA and a normal fiber laser, it's still the same fiber family, is that the MOPAs can do color. And what that means is that when you're working on metal, so see, these are all the things that you can do on a fiber, right? You can still do acrylics, you can do spoons because it falls into the metal category. You can do plastics, right? But what you can also do with this machine is you can actually engrave color. So you could do red, you can get black, you can get orange, you can get yellow. You're talking about the rainbow. You can get all those colors. So with the MOPAs and with MonPort, you can actually get that great color. Remember, the comMarker that you saw, they have a MOPA version, they have a UV version, and then they have a standard. They also then have, with MonPort, They have several types as well. They have non-MOPA and MOPAs. And I know this starts getting really complex when you start thinking about all the laser types. They have the Pro Series, which is what I use, this one right here. And we do some volunteer work. Nilda, do you want to talk about the volunteer work that we're going to be running on the XShow on the MonPort this week?
We are engraving.
How many is it?
I think it's 250.
All right, 250 what?
Medals for participants who are going to be running the turkey trot.
So there's a turkey trot from one of our local school
Elementary
districts
school.
for it's elementary school.
Elementary school.
Okay.
For the kids. Kids love medals.
So 250 ornaments, or not ornaments, 250
Medals.
medals when they pass the finish line that we're engraving for the school. And we're actually going to be using the MonPort solution for that. We may split it up because it's 250. So I may have some on xTool, some on comMarker, and then some on the MonPort. This is why you have multiple lasers. So I may go through it.
It's an excuse to get more.
It's my excuse to get more.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna split them because it is 250. We need to go through. We actually have an order. So we have that order this week, and we also have another order. We have, I think it's 25 tumblers that we have to do.
Is it 25 that they
I
want?
see the 25. I think it's 25 or 50 that we have. So full wrap that we have. We just got the packaging that we have to do. So anyways, going back to these guys. So we have the 30-watt MOPA, which is going to be able to do color. And then you have them in different styles, right? So you have some that are more compact, but less power. I like 60 and above. 30 is going to work fine. The difference between the 60 and the 30 is pretty much going to be speed and power. So it may take a couple more seconds to do. So that's something to consider. You then also have, for example, these that are all-in-ones. This is very similar to what we saw with the, oh, I'm not sharing.
Yeah.
Let me go back. Thanks for reminding me. This one right here, I like this model because it's compact, but what typically you run into is that you sacrifice in the engravable area right here. When you go with these all-in-ones like this, where everything is connected, this area right here where you engrave, the surface area is a little bit smaller to engrave. But you'll notice with this one too, auto-focusing, which I love, has, industrial grade, distance sensors. It's really push button. But when you start looking at these type of lasers, you're also then working with Lightburn. They don't have their own software. And here's a big challenge. And I'm just going to do this call out to all laser manufacturers that are not Laser Pecker, not xTool, right? Even the ones that I've been talking to. I've spoken to MonPort about this. I've spoken to comMarker about this. And there's other brands that I'm talking to as well. The biggest challenge, which is also an opportunity, is very few of them are giving you the settings. So when you look at these industrial machines, there are no settings, right? They'll give you some starter settings, but really, there should be more settings available. And that means that if you do get a MonPort, if you do go a comMarker, if you do any other brand that's out there that I would put in the industrial laser space, they don't give you the settings, and you have to figure it out, join a community, ask questions. Some people will not give you the actual settings, which can be frustrating, but it's trial and error. So you have to invest time. Literally, for me to be able to do those metals that we're going in, I'm gonna have to test. I'll probably
sacrifice one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sacrifice one. I'll probably spend a couple hours just trying to get the right power frequency needed to get the right type of engraving. Some other companies have figured it out and said, you know what, we're going to give you settings. We're going to give you all the tests, like what you see happening both with Laser Pecker and xTool. Those are the companies that I think that are going to be incredibly successful because they're making it easier for consumers and even pros. Even for someone who's been doing laser engraving for a very long time, for many years, I don't want to spend my time testing material. I really don't. I want to hit the button. I want to make things a lot easier. So that's just one thing I think as a community, the manufacturers really need to listen and really need to think about how can they provide all the settings for all the consumers. So going back to MonPort, I like them. They have some great lasers. We've had good experience. I've have 2 MonPort lasers. Both of them are fibers. They do CO2 as well. They do other type of machines. They have some really large industrial type machines like that are almost like the size of a car, like that big. If you want to do laser engraving of wood and large wood pieces. And I would say that those are all the categories that we have right now. We have other lasers that are coming in, and I'll now that we're on video, I'll have proof just in case I get hit or attacked by Nilda.
You need witnesses, huh?
I need witnesses, but we have some other lasers coming in. Ouch, ouch, ouch. It's like ouch, ouch, ouch. So we have some more lasers that are going to be coming in, and
see how you said it like
yeah, we have more lasers coming in. It's great. Hey, it expands what you do, and also it expands what we learn.
I need to expand my house.
Yeah, we need to get a commercial space for this kind of stuff. So so these are the brands that we so far been working on. We have some other brands that we're currently working with, trying to bring more products to both our private community as well as the YouTube channel, and then also for these podcasts. But I'd say right now is the best time to consider getting into laser engraving. It will give you, no joke, financial independence. It will give you the ability to expand and have some side money for vacations, for weddings, for you name it.
Send your kids for a honeymoon.
Honeymoon, right? I think that's what we're doing with the proceeds of our laser engraving, right? We're paying for our oldest's honeymoon. So there's just a lot of stuff that you'd be able to do. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like having the ability to have that peace of mind, because you have
peace of mind.
There's a lot of peace of mind when you have that extra income coming into your home, where you can just say, hey, and then the other thing is just, is this the coolness? You don't know how many people have wow moments. Like when Nilda delivers a box of pens.
Yeah.
Right. And you've done this year, you've done lots of pens.
Too many pens. And I just love the look on their face when they just see it, and it's even better when they order more.
Yeah, and they don't expect it. They don't expect this kind of quality.
Like,
they go like, oh my God. And it's like high definition. It's like, oh my God. So they freak out when they see things. So I'd say check out the links that we have in the description. Again, best time, Black Fridays, great deals. If we were to go in the order, which is the easiest? Absolute easiest is going to be the xTool line. The second easiest would be the Laser Pecker, because they have their own desktop software. Then you go, the third easiest is going to be the comMarker, MonPort, and then others that are out there are going to be the ones that are more industrial strength, but they also have some specialty lasers that the others two don't have, like the UV that allows you to engrave glass without any kind of special settings. And we're going to have the UV on the channel. We'll share with you what it looks like, and then we'll also share with it what it looks like as well in our private group. And we're going to have jigs to help you engrave faster. So if you want to be able to engrave slates faster, if you want to, we have jigs for these guys too. All that stuff, we're going to be having them to make it more easier for you to do. Bottom line is, we don't make jigs because we sell jigs. I make jigs.
We use them.
For her.
I use them.
Right. So as she has a need, and she basically says, hey, I have this product I have to engrave, we go ahead and make it. We also make jigs for industrial companies that need jigs for manufacturing. Yeah. And that's Nilda's business. And so we do a lot of jigs, like literally, like I think we were looking like 42,000 jigs, no joke jigs.
Yeah.
It's like lots of jigs because of the diversity of the needs that we have to deal with. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you think about your side hustle. Hope you can think about stuff that you can do like this that you probably never thought a laser could do, right? That gives you that personal feeling.
It doesn't have to be for a holiday. It can be for just a special occasion or just as a gift.
Yeah.
To people that.
Think about all the holidays. Think about weddings. Think about birthdays. Think about,
graduations.
This woman goes crazy when it's school starts. Pencils.
Oh my God.
Pencils. Erasers. People engrave erasers.
Notepads.
Our kids aren't small anymore. We actually saw one of the school lists where one of the schools was requiring a student to bring 50 pencils.
Because they lose them. That's all.
Because they lose them. And so parents have the pencils actually engraved with the kids' names. Right. We get teachers. A little saying on it too. So. Yeah, they get then teachers too. Like teachers want to give, reward pencils, like great job, Yeah. So all this other stuff. So guys, great opportunity. So we're going to wrap this up. We went a little bit over. Hope this helps you with your decision making. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. Check us out.
I got to say comment. I have to. It's not him. It's me.
She is. I'm the coffee. I'm the black coffee. She's going to be the nice creamer, and she's going to be the nice sugar. She adds all the sugar and all the spice.
Yes.
To life.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're getting more lasers.
Yeah, we're getting more lasers. So guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you check us out. More to follow. And please enjoy. Be safe this this holiday, and make sure you take advantage of the deals.
Yes.
Take advantage of the deals.
All right, guys. See you in the next one.